Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my friends on the Earth ship. Welcome to my little portal of clarity that I've created for us to engage our inner alchemist. I'm Cindy Carter, an intuitive, an artist, an energy healer, and a spirit consultant. This series of Alchemy podcasts that I put together each Sunday is kind of like a progressive building of information. And it does allow you to kind of see your role as a Master Alchemist, as the director of your life. So you can be in control as a sovereign being on this earth. And so this is kind of like your weekly reminder of that. So thanks for being here. So last podcast, we talked about the liberation of the bloodlines, where we learned that freeing yourself emotionally from the constructs of society and the family unit is pretty crucial right now. We have to be able to transcend the genetics that we've been gifted within, the big family tree, and making a conscious choice that this is not how we would like to live, or this is the way we would like to live. It's about choice. And say your family tree was filled with ancestral depression. Well, we can alter our vibration and step into a higher aspect of ourselves, to bring in an ancient consciousness, to transcend the liberation of this bloodline. So today, naturally for me, the topic went straight to wisdom and the ancient wisdom. We were talking of bloodlines, and it's natural to go to ancient wisdom. When you talk about bloodlines and the anomalies and the weird stuff about our genetics, we're not talking about, ancient wisdom from the weird part of the genetics. I'm not talking about your grandmother's wisdom. I'm not talking about your grandpa's wisdom. I'm talking about the accrued knowledge of all your lifetimes that's held within yourselves. So what is ancient wisdom, and where do you get it? From your great-grandma? Or that relative you never met? Or from Archangel Michael? Or from Metatron? Or what realm of the angelics did you get that? What name was it? What deity was it? People are looking for outside sources for their ancient wisdom. And that seems not right to me. There are a whole lot of places we could gain wisdom and gain information from. But wisdom is like an unstoppable truth, where information is malleable. It seems like in older times it was natural to go straight to an elder to gain your knowledge. There was a lot of wisdom to be had by our elders, and it still is that way. We gain guidance and upliftment through our interactions with our elders. So what we're saying here about ancient wisdom and not going to the elders, I'm saying this is a healthy balance of knowing what's yours and what's theirs. What their knowledge is doing, what their wisdom is doing, is activating that within you. There was also a lot of atonement back in the day, where we had to defer our knowing to another person that's farther up the ladder. There was a lot of hierarchy, a lot of worship around the ancients. I'm not real big about worship, if you know me very well. So don't get me started. Oh, those hierarchy displays, the ladder of accomplishment. Geez, no more attainment. You can attain this now, in your body, in the current life you have. So let's get into it. Ancient wisdom is the knowledge of the sun, and it's the wisdom of the stars. It's the story of divine principles and creative powers, where truth is sought within as our connection to these things. It's the divine itself. To revere and honor all energies. Ancient wisdom lies in the hearts of your past lives, in the consciousness of all the lives you've led, and the understandings and awarenesses that you come to by honoring these powers within you. This is sovereignty. Sovereign action to know oneself. This is ascension. This is divine alignment. The wisdom of your heart is a powerful catalyst for an alchemist to become aware of. The wisdom found here in your heart space is immanence. It's wide and without the bondage of the self or the persona that keeps us tethered into victimhood and strife. You have to know that you are the wisdom and that you are the glory. Right now, today. Yeah, even you, sitting over there in your cute fuzzy pajama pants, you are the wisdom. So rock it. There's a remembrance in your cells of the wisdom of your past. I wrote about this in 2010. This is where I was gifted the information. Where did it come from? From my guides. Who were my guides? No one told me. They came to me myself. They were part of me. My highest self came to me in 2010, and I started channeling this ancient one. And it was telling me about creation and remembrance. So there is a remembrance in your cellular body. And it's all the wisdoms of your past accrued up into consciousness. It's the quickening of a solar system inside your body. It's the wisdom of the galaxies inside your big toe. You know, we can change and transform these cells to take on the knowledge and to allow more God source, more divine wisdom to be displayed to and from you. So the cellular body plays a huge role in our understanding of how the cells take on this ancient wisdom and how they send out this ancient wisdom. There's a divine filtering that must happen in your solar plexus and your heart. So you don't take on the Creator God consciousness that wants you to manipulate from your Creator God self of your past lives. This is not the ancient wisdom I'm talking about. See, your cells have these knowings. I'm not saying you're a know-it-all. I'm not saying that everything we know is the truth of another person. What I'm saying are knowings are alignment. And knowings are truth. Your truth. And that's all we have is our own truth. I've talked about that in many podcasts before. 2 or 3 of them right in a row about your truth, accessing your truth, speaking your truth. So if you understand that these knowings are part of you, and that these knowings are bringing a part of all that you have been right to a central place, you know, this is your future self, your past self, your concurrent selves. They're all scattered amongst all these dimensions and all these places in the universe. And it's time to harness these remembrances for your life as an alchemist, for your now. Not for your future, for your now. Conscious now. The conscious now can benefit in so many ways from the remembrances of your ancient past and your ancient futures. That was not a play on words. That's a truth right there. There is an ancient future. Now you see, I've not said to you, oh, let's, bring in a guide to get our wisdom. Let's go find a guide. I'm talking to the guide. It's you. You are made up of the epigenetic soup of all creation. You are the wisdom. It might be hard for you to believe that you are the wisdom of a Gandhi. Now, I name people that I would want to think of as pure, but there are so many unpure parts of their past. But what I'm saying is, when we take on purity that's more aligned with divinity, our remembrance becomes more truthful. So, what is ancient wisdom in the eyes of all these New Age constructs? Well, these can look like a lot of different things. Ancient wisdom comes in all kinds of fake packages, comes in false beliefs. Now, I'm not saying people are fake. I'm saying that they have prescribed to a fake process. You see, there are a lot of New Age beliefs that have been man-made, filtered, not based in divinity, based in an overlayment of the truth, so that you are kept away from the truth. So you see, ancient wisdom is part of your truth, and you are being held away from it by a lot of these New Age constructs. And one of them, I'll talk about in a minute. New Age has a lot of false belief systems that are built into a lot of different things to keep people from being aware of themselves as multidimensional. For not being able to see or access the divinity that you have been in past lives or in future lives. For instance, if you were to be sitting with some of the love and light crowd, some of these people are the ones who totally deny the darkness within you. They don't accept or allow the darkness. They don't even want to understand the darkness. They believe that if they, think about darkness, that they'll become that. It's not really true. We have to work through our darkness, forgive ourselves for our darkness, so that we can teach ourselves in a higher vibration how to accept our higher wisdoms. We would never allow ourselves to fall if we accept our own wisdom. You see, ancient remembrance is allowed in the body and the mind when the constructs of thought are taken away. When we allow ourselves to change and move and act more towards our divinity, our divine self. When we choose to vibrate differently with more awareness of our actions, more awareness of our thoughts, to become more divine in our remembering. You see, this is a conscious choice, just like I talk about every week. It's alchemy. So there are so many new awakened beings right now. It's really wonderful to see and witness all the people that are coming alive, especially the young ones. People you would never believe are waking up to the kindness of their own heart, to the kindness of their negative thoughts and their negative feelings. And they're asking and searching how to rid themselves of these mind infections. They're here ready to become aware. But even in all this new energy and this emerging, heightening awareness and all these heightened frequency levels, like the Schumann resonance is off the scale, we are coming more into our divine resonance. But there's still these very old constructs that are really not helpful anymore in the New Age community. And I'm not here to offend anyone. I love you all. And I'm not here to say that your modality is wrong. But what I am here to say is I'm offering a more sovereign gesture of understanding when we look at ancient wisdom and New Age constructs. So there is an offering out there, and it's been around for a very long time, and this offering is great for the business-minded intuitive or business-minded psychic or somebody in the healing arts. If you adopt this offering, which many have, and you would have a lot of followers. You'd have a lot of people booking your sessions. Now, I'm not being truthful here. I'm being a little facetious. All I really do care about is the offering of divinity. And I don't care for this offering that I'm getting ready to tell you about. It's the offering of, let me tell you who your guides are. Yeah, sign up here. Right now, I'll tell you your guides. I'm having a workshop on it, I'm having a reading on it, and I'm having a group session on it. No, let's not. Let's not look and let an intuitive look into your past or the energy around you and find your spirit guides for you. such as, a particular archangel or a deity like Sanat Kumara, or, can you hook me up lately? It's been, can you hook me up with your Sasquatch guides? No, I can't. So I'm just going to say it. I don't feel that it's appropriate now, in the current energetic climate of sovereign action, in our abilities to be non-invasive, non-controlling, and to allow another person to be self-directed, and to allow their soul to make its soul's choice, minus our new idea, minus the attachment of another. So, if I were to tell you that you were to have a big older Italian woman in the background and she's whispering to you this guidance and wisdom, well, that feels like somebody just tethered you to a stranger. Let's blow up this idea of something that may not have been part of your soul's choice or the walk on this earth was to know this big older Italian woman. She might have some anger deep down in there while she's guiding you. She might have some intentions of off-planet sources. She might be Zeta Reticuli. We don't know where these beings come from that we're going to attach to you. That's what I'm saying. We're not allowed here as healers or intuitives or psychics to bring this kind of information anymore. It doesn't feel sovereign. So why do healers feel the need to fluff up the egos by telling people who and what name their guide is? We can't do that anymore. I'm not going to tether anybody to something energetically that is not theirs or not their original idea. I've talked about this in the past, about hypnotherapy, and I believe that, it was created by a dark faction of the CIA, probably part of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, where hypnotherapy kind of feeds into an illusion. You can feed someone's mental body and their subconscious mind with all kinds of caca. You could say, Metatron is now with you. So now they walk away with this Metatron energy that may have never been part of their life path. You see, when someone is really vulnerable and they're searching for their inner truth to tell them and attach them to an outer truth, is kind of a form of manipulation. Yikes, I know that sounds harsh, but it is. I'll never tell somebody who their guide is. I'm not going to manipulate a soul, but I can sure lead you to know yourself more, to be able to access your own guide, to understand your truth, how to speak it, how to know it, how to understand your grandness and your kindness. This would be an honorable service in a sovereign environment of upliftment. But if I told you your guide is Wahoo, the Grand Sasquatch Elder, well, this info goes right into your body and your mind, into your etheric field of this person. And now they're going to go off on a goose chase of knowing this entity Wahoo, not knowing or being aware of anything themselves. They're going to create an entity for themselves that might not have been part of them. You see, in 2012, I really kind of upset a lot of people, kind of like I might do in this one, where I explained that whatever you're channeling, if you are a channeler of information, and you should know this if you aren't a channeler, you should know that, the people who are channeling, no matter what they're channeling, there's threads of that consciousness inside of their cells. I put out a channeling that was titled in 2012, You Are Metatron, Lord Sananda, and God. And it took about 3 years for most of the channelers to come to the realization, kind of reluctantly really, that, that they were part of that. Because, it's kind of easier to step aside and allow an entity to use your body and use your mind if you are in a subservient stance, if you don't understand the wisdom inside you. No way. This is heart-based wisdom of ancient and cosmic sources. It's already housed in your cells and your aura. Let's unearth it. Let's connect it to your current life, and let's allow all the other stuff to fall away. This is how to become the wisdom of the ancients. You're already that. So I really won't go searching for any guides. It's best to get to know the versions of you first, the most grand versions of you, the most powerful, the most benevolent and kind. These are the wisdoms that you are here to understand of yourself. These will be your guides. If you stopped all outside sources of information, even healers assisting you, you could still access your divine wisdom. As the alchemist, you get to be the one to choose your ancient wisdom. Selectivity. You are the alchemist. Remember your most elder part of you. Perhaps it was a Native American chief that you were. Well, the consciousness of that chief is inside you. That chief is calm. He is knowing. He's unmovable. Now activate that in your life. Even when you're at the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, for my over-the-seas friends. It's not such a fun place for us in the U.S. Maybe for you in the U.K. it's not either, but when you go to the DMV, you pretty much are asserting your right as a slave to ask permission to drive when you really don't need permission to drive because you're not for hire. We need to activate the wisdom. So activate your Native American chief inside you. You would be calm right there, not agitated, not upset, not anxious. Be the wisdom and the serenity of your own elders, of the past lives that live within you. It's less messy this way. And we are doing a disservice to another person by doing the work for them or gifting false ideas. Most of the time, this is done in unawareness, but if you want to allow the soul of another to progress on the earth, please assist them to know their own guides, to come up with their own ideas, to know themselves as sovereign. If you're a healer, just know this, fluffing of the egos is not needed. And it may not fill your calendar, but you can have peace of mind that you've not manipulated a soul's choice. Ancient wisdom is what my higher self decided to teach me. So I put together an ebook of all my channelings that taught me about ancient wisdom. They're high vibrating and loaded with codes of immortal thought. And it's found on my website. It's called Solene, the Ancient One. It was my code and guidebook, channel by channel by channel. And I didn't really understand it all until I got a bigger picture of the whole process as an ascension, as a finding of truth, as a way to become your own elder and your own guide. This is real important work. So also there's something on my website called the Template of Grace. And it's a way to accelerate your awareness of your ancient self by focusing for 11 days, like an 11-day meditation series. It's like 15 minutes a day with Tibetan bowls in the background. It's really powerful, really relaxing. But you can access your ancient wisdoms this way. You could now find me on Patreon, where I'll be sharing more intimately than I can on YouTube or Facebook. I'll be bringing you some Sasquatch stories, some videos, as well as maybe some alchemy teachings and some alchemy conference calls where we can get together and have some questions and ideas. I'll be sharing some exciting subtle energy devices that I work with now to help with the well-being of myself and others. But this today is to allow you the understanding that you are the ancient wisdom. You are the guide of your own life. You can unearth and access through alchemy and the conscious choice of alchemy to become and find the ancient wisdoms within you. And when you do that, we all rise. So I say many blessings and thank you.